Hello 7T3, and we're going to have our second lesson on expanding brackets, where you're going to get to practice it a little bit whilst I'm not around. But I'm going to do a little reminder for you now, and you can copy these down in a minute if you want some extra examples. But what we're actually going to look at is actually expanding these brackets which are in front of us here. Now, remember what we said about expanding? We said that hidden in here, hidden just in between the 5 and the bracket there, is a times sign, isn't it? Because we're timesing all of this bracket by the 5. And so I want to times everything in the bracket by that 5. So first of all, we're going to do 5 times by the first thing in the bracket, which is a. So 5 times a is 5a. You have to excuse the writing, it's a bit hard on this tablet. So the first part of my answer is 5a. And then I'm going to times the 5 by the second thing in my bracket, which was the 3. So 5 times by 3 equals 15. So the second part of my answer is 15. And of course it's a positive 15, so I put in a plus. So my answer is 5a plus 15. Okay, second example. Now this one obviously looks slightly different, because I've now got a times by both of the things in my bracket, the a and the negative 3. So first of all, a times by a. Now we hopefully remember that if we times something by itself, then it is, in this case, a squared with the little flying 2. So the first part of my answer is a squared. Then I've got to times the a by the second thing in my bracket, which is that 3. So I'm timesing a by 3, but this isn't an ordinary 3, this is negative 3, and I know it's negative 3 because it says so. There's a negative there, right, just there. Right, a times negative 3. Now, you could ignore the negative to start with and just do 3 times a. And remember, a letter times a number is, in this case, 3a. And we don't need the times sign between because we know it means times. In algebra, two things next to each other means they're times. So this is 3a. But of course, we've got a negative and a positive here. This a is obviously positive because there's no negative. And the mix of signs means our answer there is negative. So it's a squared take away 3a because it's negative. And let's just remind ourselves of that. If we've got two signs that are the same, so if I'm timesing two positives together, or if I'm timesing two negatives together, then the answer is positive because we say they're friends, don't we? These are friends and these are friends, so it's positive. But if we've got two signs that are opposite, so if I'm timesing a positive by a negative, or if I times a negative by a positive, then my answer is going to be negative because they're not friends, are they? They're opposites, so they're not friends. Okay, let's look at this one down here. Now then, let's change colour so things don't get too mashed up. Now then, 5 this time times the rest of my bracket. 5 times by 2a and 5 times the 6. I'm going to write over this side just because we've got a bit more space over here. So I need to do 5 first of all times by the first thing in my bracket, 5 times 2a. So this means 5 lots of 2a. So I can do 5 times 2 to make 10, and it's a. 5 lots of 2a will make 10a. So the first part of my answer is 10a. And then I do 5 times the other thing in my bracket, which is the 6. So 5 times 6, I hope we all know, is 30, because we all know our times tables because we've been practicing, haven't we? Good. Right, 30. Now that's a positive 30, so I put in a positive, put 30. So 10a plus 30 is my answer. And last one down here, last example before you can try some questions, is 3b times by 2b take away 2. Okay, so this does look a bit harder than what we've done before, but let's think of what we've got to do. We need to do 3b times 2b. So that's 3. Well, think of 3b as 3 times by b. And let's think of 2b as 2 times by b, because we know that's really what it means. And we're multiplying those two things together. So 3 times b times 2 times b. And they're all multiplied together. And when things are multiplied together like that in a chain, we can actually change the order. I can actually do the 3 times the 2 first to get 6. And then I can do b times b, which we know anything times itself is squared. So 6b squared is the first part of my answer. Let's put that in. 6b squared. Okay, let's change color just to make this a bit more obvious. Now I need to do 3b times by the 2. And of course, this is a special type of 2. This is negative 2. So we've got 3. Let's think of it as times b again. So 3 times b is 3b times by my negative 2. Now I can times the numbers together first of all, can't I? Because they're all times together in a chain, so I can times the numbers together first. So 3 lots of negative 2. The signs are opposite because this is a positive. Positive and negative, they're not friends, so the answer there will be negative 6. And then of course it's times by b as well, so negative 6b. And so my answer would be 6b squared, take away, because it's a negative, 6b. So there's my answers there. The first answer was 5a plus 15. My second answer was a squared, because I had that a times a. And it's a squared take away 3a. And my third answer was 10a, because I had 5 lots of 2a, didn't I? Plus 30. And my last answer is 6b squared, take away 6b. Okay, I'd like you to have a go at the Maths Loops cards. Pick a card, probably start at number 1. Figure out the answer, find the answer on the next card, and then put them together as a chain and cut them out one at a time as you go, finding the answer on the next card. Good luck.